him in, and he has raised the level of the entire offensive line. If you remember this Arizona offensive line in the preseason, they looked absolutely pathetic. Of course, Lomas Brown was hurt in the preseason and not playing. Since he's been back, since game one, this offensive line has steadily improved throughout the season. Lomas Brown is like the sergeant of a platoon.
First and 15, Graham to the far side. In and out of the hands of Marcus Dowdell, who scored the game-winning touchdown with 14 seconds left the last time these teams met.
I don't think that ball ever hit Dowdell's hands. I mean, I think he just flat misses it. It comes right through and hits him in the chest. Now, it's an excellent throw by Kent Graham, because you'll see this thing right there. I mean, that just goes right through his hands, and the only thing it hits is his chest, right between the 8 and the 4, and it makes you think maybe he's got to get rid of that black mask he's got on. Maybe he's got to clean that thing off and put a windshield wiper on it or something, because his vision was just terrible on that play.
Not much sun here today. Another flag as Larry Centers makes the catch, his second today. Ray Farmer on the stop.
I mean, there's been more flags on this field today. It's like the UN Pavilion.
Although these flags are all yellow.
You live near the UN Pavilion, don't you? So you know what I'm talking about.
Offense number 75. Penalties decline.
Lomas Brown again.
Yeah, you know, Mike Mamula is giving Lomas Brown fits, because Lomas Brown has had one heck of a season this year, and here you see Mamula. You saw him get the sack before, and now you see Lomas gets his arm wrapped right around Mamula. And he hangs on just a little bit. You know, I'll tell you what. I mean, it's Lomas Brown did not intend to hold Mike Mamula on that play, but Mamula has given him such a problem with his change of direction that he just ended up holding.
And the Eagles declined the penalty because the Cardinals lost yardage on the play. And now it will be 4th down and 18. So the punting unit comes out once again for the struggling Arizona Cardinals.
Kenny, once again, now what the Eagles have done is they've changed it up. Now, we saw them bringing the pressure on Kent Graham, and now what you're going to see is, if we can stop it right there, you're going to see 3 guys here in the pass rush. And now watch, safeties and linebackers all dropping back into coverage, giving Kent Graham nowhere to throw the football.
Graham only 2 of 9 with the 1 interception. Both completions have gone to Larry Centers. As the punt takes a Cardinals bounce, Eagles pinned deep in their own territory, leading by the score of 16-0. 3 minutes into their second quarter, 37 yards on the punt by Eagles. Now, if that were the camera crew, I want to know who took that shot.
I don't know, but after seeing the camera, I'm not worried about losing my job to any of those guys.
Was that one of those cameras where you set it up, set the timer, and it shoots itself?
No, because it was wobbling a little. So, and when the camera wobbles, it makes you think that it can't be one of our crew, especially Jay or Sully, the guys you saw there. You know those 2 guys wouldn't be wobbling the camera.
Well, the Philadelphia Eagles headed to the postseason for the 2nd straight year. They started this season 7-2, but they have dropped 2 of 4 of their last 6. But they have put things together here today, leading the Cardinals 16-0. Ricky Waters across the 10 to the 12. Matt Darby made the stop, so it will be 3rd and long upcoming for Philadelphia.
Kenny, even though Ricky Waters has had a Pro Bowl season, you see here that he really has dropped off in his productivity. When they were 7-2 and people were talking Super Bowl, he was at 4.5 yards per carry. In the past 6 weeks, when they had this slide, he's only been at 3.4 yards a carry, and that's a pretty significant drop in productivity.
3 wide receivers for the Eagles on 3rd down and 8. Denver in trouble. Throws it away as he's thrown to the turf. Always with a smile on his face, even when he's knocked down.
Yeah, you don't get much more of an even-keeled guy than Ty Detmer, even when he's got Simeon Rice coming right at him full force. And here's Rice, and he's working on Barrett Brooks. And of course, Brooks benched last week in favor of Jermaine Mayberry for plays like that one there. And then you see Michael Bankston come in and polish him off. So we saw Waters help Bankston up, and then we saw Bankston help Detmer down.
First punt for Tom Hutton out of his own end zone. Marcus Dowdell back deep. Good kick by Hutton, forcing Dowdell all the way to the 38. And then it was Johnny Thomas. 50-yard punt, no return.
Either involve Dallas and Minnesota, or Dallas and the Eagles, or San Francisco and the Eagles, or San Francisco and Minnesota, or Carolina and the Eagles or Minnesota.
So, as we said,
just check the listings. Right.
Here's Leland McElroy bouncing it outside. In case you were just joining us, the Philadelphia Eagles are headed to the playoffs if they win today, and they do lead 16-0. If they win and the Vikings lose, the Eagles would travel to either San Francisco or Carolina. If the Eagles and Vikings both win today, or if the Eagles lose, then it would be Philadelphia and Dallas. They split 2 games this year. Philadelphia defeated Carolina 20-9, and they did not face San Francisco. Ray Farmer, shaken up, will return to the vet, where the Eagles lead the Cardinals 16-0. Back in Philadelphia, 2nd down and 9 for the Cardinals. Frank Sanders in motion as Graham pump fakes and then looks for Rob Moore. The question is, was he in bounds? The answer, no. So Graham now just 2 of 10 with both completions to the fullback, Larry Centers.
Well, Kenny, here's Ron Farmer coming off after his injury. Obviously injured his right leg in some way or another. 40 tackles today, and just a rookie, too. A guy who's a lightweight guy who Ray Rhodes is turning into a linebacker. Here he is here. Now watch, he gets that right leg pinned right in there. It gets wedged between himself and Pat Carter. And he's also had 3 tackles today, so I'm sure the Eagles will miss him.
Graham's pass complete for the first down as Rob Moore goes over the 1,000-yard mark for the 2nd time of his career. Gain of 20 on the play, and only the 3rd completion by Graham, the first to a wide receiver.
Now, Rob Moore is a guy who has used his body this season as well as he's ever used it in his career. Now he's got it. I mean, he's about 6'3", he's big, he's strong, he's physical, and he's starting to use that size to his advantage. There you see an example of him leaping up, and he gets hit from behind, but he shields himself, he shields the ball from the defensive back with his body.
Leland McElroy found a hole, and then he ran it to Michael Zordich. Gain of 3 on first down. Our Aflac trivia question for the afternoon: who was the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year in both 1972 and 1974?
And he is out on the field today. Now, not necessarily on the playing field, but somewhere out here. Not in here, but somewhere. I'd like to give people a little bit of a hint.
Graham's pass batted at the line. And the man who is the answer to our Aflac trivia question did much of his damage in this state. Not necessarily in Philadelphia.
Now you're really narrowing it down.
In this state,
right?
In the state of Pennsylvania.
Well, we know it's not Philadelphia if you said not necessarily in Philadelphia. So if it's not in Philadelphia, then of course it's got to be in Pittsburgh.
It could be Harrisburg or Hershey.
Well, in the NFL, though. We're still going to let you think about it.
Or State College with Penn State. Third and 7. As the crowd tried to disrupt the Cardinals, and perhaps they accomplished that feat as flags come flying.
Well, the
Delay.
Philadelphia defense
Offense.
is going to have to change their coverage on that play because Kent Graham was about to beat it. Now, had he not drawn the delay of game penalty, then you see him laughing with Larry Centers because Larry Centers is wide open on this play. Watch Centers here. He sneaks out. Philadelphia defense brings the blitz, and there's no one on Larry Centers. Centers was wide open. So Emmett Thomas, the defensive coordinator there for the Eagles, is either going to have to change that play or make sure whoever's got Centers is on it. Change the play.
And 12. As Graham fires over the middle, Frank Sanders makes the catch for another Cardinals first down, a gain of 21 yards. So the Cardinals continue their drive once again. Who was the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year in both 1972 and 74?
There he is, Mean Joe Green, Pittsburgh Steelers. And look how mean he was. I mean, that's against the Eagles.
Now the defensive line coach, were you ever referred to as Mean Tim Green?
Every once in a while, people would make that reference.
Especially on our production crew.
But I wasn't known for being mean.
Only on occasion.
Of course, Mean Joe Green didn't necessarily get his name for being mean, although we saw him on that Affleck, those Affleck cuts. We saw that, in fact, he was mean. But he didn't get it for being mean. He got it because the college team he played for was called, what, the Mean Green?
And, you know, Simeon Rice really gives a lot of the credit for his excellent play during this rookie season to Mean Joe Green.
Yeah, he does. And Mean Joe Green has been a great mentor for not only Simeon Rice, but also Eric Swan, Michael Bankston, and Bernard Wilson.
Larry Centers on 2nd and 10. For the folks watching back in Arizona, they hope this is not a swan song for Larry Centers in a Cardinals uniform. He will be an unrestricted free agent following this season.
Yeah, but they have a saying among the Arizona Cardinals team. Now, of course, the players, some of the players from the Cardinals were in that movie, Jerry Maguire. And they all went to a screening. And one of the scenes in the movie is where a free agent guy, one of the stars, says, "Show me the money." And so now the players in the locker room are saying to Larry Centers, "Show me the money," because he does want to get some big money in this free agency market. He wants to stay with the Cardinals, but he wants that big paycheck as well. I talked to him about it right before the game. He said, "Hey, I've got to watch out for my family. I only play in this game so long. I got to get everything I can
snap,
get."
False start. Offense, number 54. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Aaron Graham again. Vince Tobin, the Cardinals head coach, told us yesterday we will do everything we can to re-sign Larry Centers.
Yeah, that's right. And I spoke to Bob Ferguson, who works on the player personnel, assembling the player personnel for the Arizona Cardinals right before the game. And he said the same thing. He said, "Look, we're trying to get Larry Centers done next week." So, and of course, Vince Tobin and Bob Ferguson have done an outstanding job of assembling a much stronger Arizona Cardinals team this year than they've had in the past 4 or 5.
On 3rd and 14, Graham looking to the end zone, and Rob Moore, James Fuller on the coverage. Kevin Butler leads the field goal unit out for the Cardinals.
And Fuller, again, on this play, has some help from Bobby Taylor. So the Eagles, coming into this game, wanted to put their priority on covering these wide receivers. So you're going to see Fuller over the top and Taylor underneath. There's Fuller there at 22. And the reason why he can come over the top is because he knows Bobby Taylor, 21, is on the underneath coverage.
Kevin Butler with the game winner last Sunday against Washington. His season long is 38. This will be a 41-yard attempt. Jeff Beagle's the holder. And Butler's kick is good. So the longtime Chicago Bear puts the Cardinals on the scoreboard. They now trail the Eagles 16-3.
First half, the score.
On Christmas night, Dustin Hoffman and Gina Davis start adventure about the world's most unexpected hero. Fox presents a special movie presentation of Hero Wednesday at 8.